Prosecutors across New York State are asking the Attorney General's office for information related to the investigation into Governor Cuomo. A report released this week found Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women. He denies touching anyone inappropriately and says some encounters were misunderstandings. So let's take it straight to Graham Cates. He is following all of the latest developments on this story for CBS News. Graham, thanks for joining us this morning. What specific allegations in the Attorney General's report are getting attention from prosecutors?
Well, we already talked in the last couple of days about the Albany County District Attorney, who is looking into several of the allegations that occurred at the governor's offices in Albany, which is the capital of New York. And then yesterday, we learned of 3 new district attorneys in lower New York that are looking at other parts of the investigation. For instance, in Westchester County, where the governor has his personal residence, the district attorney sent a letter to the attorney general saying, we'd like to see the information you have about an incident involving a state trooper. And this was a state trooper who was assigned to his detail to protect him. And in the investigation, the state trooper said, while at his residence in Mount Kisco, New York, the governor asked to kiss her. And the state trooper said that she was surprised and shocked by the request, and then ultimately afraid to say no because she didn't want to end up on like a bad list, she said. And so she said, sure. And then afterwards confided with another state trooper who the investigator said actually corroborated this whole story. So that's one incident involving the state trooper. The Manhattan district attorney has also requested information from the attorney general about at least one incident involving the state trooper. In this case, she was at the governor's offices in New York City, and she said that while they were going down an elevator, he ran his finger down her spine and said, "Hey, you," to her, and made her feel really uncomfortable. And there was another incident, actually, that they didn't even request this one, but in the investigator's report, there was another incident in Manhattan in which she said he asked to kiss her, and this time she said that she felt sick, and he looked at her like he was disgusted because she had said no. According to her and the investigators. And then the Manhattan district attorney is looking into one other incident that was in the report involving another state employee who said that she was groped by the governor twice at at a public event. And then the last one is the Nassau district attorney in Long Island. Now, she didn't specify a specific example from the investigator's report. She just said to the attorney general in a letter, anything that may have happened in Nassau County, I want that information. So now we have 4 different district attorneys at least inquiring about these things. And of course, criminal charges against the city governor would be a devastating blow. So these are his legal challenges are mounting by the day.
Indeed. And so just to add on to that, one of Cuomo's accusers, Lindsay Boylan, says that she plans to sue the governor. So our Jerika Duncan actually spoke to Boylan's attorney. Here's a bit of that conversation.
Lindsay plans to sue the governor for retaliation.
Why not go after the governor for the sexual harassment piece?
The governor can deny sexual harassment even though he shouldn't. The governor can say nothing about the retaliation. There are emails, there are witnesses, and the retaliation is also, honestly, the worst part of it because it completely discourages other women from coming forward.
All right, so how significant would this lawsuit be for the governor?
This really hits home how complicated his legal challenges are. It's not just that these are sexual harassment allegations. As this attorney noted, this retaliation, the investigators detailed what they called a culture that was rife with intimidation and fear in his office. And they cited tens of thousands of documents that they reviewed. So for every allegation that he's facing, there are all of these materials related to how he and his office handled them. In this case, the allegation is not just sexual harassment, but retaliation. In other instances, it was about whether or not they went through the proper channels to report allegations against him. So these lawsuits are not going to be as straightforward as, for instance, he may have portrayed it in his speech where he said, they say it's sexual harassment. I didn't really understand what I have a different understanding of that than they do. it's a much more complicated employer-employee relationship, governor-staff relationship that's going to be delved into in these lawsuits.
But wait, there's more. He's also facing an impeachment inquiry. An impeachment, when it comes to a governor, is a little different than what we all witnessed with the impeachment of former President Trump. Can you take us through the steps of that process?
Sure. And in terms of a typical gubernatorial impeachment here in New York, you would be talking about a process that might last a few months, maybe a little bit more. But what they're talking about is moving really, really fast. I mean, we're from what we understand, starting possibly as soon as next week to do the investigation part of this. This would be the Judiciary Committee within the State Assembly. And what they're saying, look, this is a Democratic-controlled chamber. So the Republicans won't be hard to sway on this one. And if there's already a majority of the Democrats who are on board with this, there's not going to be a lot of roadblocks. What they're saying is they're going to start the investigative part pretty soon if he doesn't resign. And look, the investigation's already been done by the Attorney General. So they get all of these materials. They get to review these materials. And as long as the majority of the members of the Assembly want to move forward with the functional impeachment, they get to do that pretty quickly. So this is the kind of thing where we could see this go all the way through and reach a conclusion by the end of the summer, as long as no circumstances change in the meantime.
Well, we're all watching. Graham, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So more of Graham's reporting is available on CBSNews.com. Just head over there.